Ever wondered what really separates the good professionals from the truly great ones? It's not just what they know. It's how they connect, how they influence, and how they lead. So today, we are going to dive into the 3 essential tools that can turn your everyday conversations into truly masterful communication.
Let's start with a number, 85%. Now, what if I told you that this single figure, it represents the huge majority of what actually drives professional success? It's not your technical skill, nope, not your degrees, not even how many years you've been on the job. So, what is it?
And here's the answer. A landmark study by the Carnegie Institute found that a staggering 85% of your professional success comes down to your skills in human engineering. You know, what we'd now call emotional intelligence. Your ability to communicate, to negotiate, to lead, and all those hard-earned technical skills, yeah, they only account for the other 15%.
So you see, that is the real success equation. It's time we stop calling these soft skills. That's way too weak. These are your power skills. They are the true engine that drives your career forward. But hey, if they're so important, why do we get it wrong so often?
Well, it's because of a problem that affects literally everyone. The communication breakdown. You know, that frustrating gap between what we mean to say and what the other person actually hears. It's the place where brilliant ideas and the best intentions just get lost in translation.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're trying to make a point, you feel like you're being crystal clear, but all you're getting back are these blank stares. It feels like you're just broadcasting into an empty room. So why does this happen all the time?
This visual explains it perfectly. It's called the communication funnel. Think about it. You start with 100% of this perfect idea in your head, but only about 80% of that actually gets turned into words. The person listening only hears about 60% of that, they understand maybe 40%, and in the end, they only remember a tiny 20%. Your brilliant idea gets shrunk down to 1/5 of its power. It's crazy.
So how do we start to plug the leaks in this funnel? Well, our first tool is all about the receiving end. It's called deep listening, and there's a huge difference we need to get straight here. Hearing is just a physical thing, but truly listening, oh, that's a mental art form.
Let's break it down. Hearing, that's just passive. Sound waves hit your eardrums, that's it. Listening is a step up, sure, you're actually paying attention. But deep listening, that is the real game changer. It's an active mental process where your brain is working hard to analyze, to understand, and to empathize with the full meaning and the feeling behind what's being said. Okay, so how do you actually do this? Here's a super simple but incredibly powerful technique: paraphrasing. After someone makes their point, you just say, "So, if I'm understanding you correctly," or, "Okay, so what it sounds like you're saying is," and then you say it back to them in your own words. This simple act proves you understand, and more importantly, it makes them feel truly heard.
All right, time for a little honesty. A quick check-in. How good of a listener are you, really? Let's run through a couple of comment traps that we all fall into. Be honest with yourself here.
Do you interrupt people? Come on, we all do it sometimes. But it basically says, "My thought is more important than yours." How about this one? Do you prepare your comeback while they're still talking? That's not listening, that's just reloading. Do you only focus on the words and ignore their tone, their body language? If you do, you're missing most of the message. And finally, do you use their story as a launchpad to tell your own? That's not a conversation, that's a competition. Okay, spotting those bad habits is a huge first step. But communication is a two-way street, so our second tool is all about what you're sending out there, often without even knowing it. This is nonverbal precision, and trust me, in any conversation, how you stand can matter way more than what you stand for.
Get ready for another wild number: 93%. According to some foundational research, that's the percentage of your message's impact that comes from your nonverbal cues, not your words, almost the whole thing.
And the breakdown is it's mind-blowing. The actual words you pick, they account for a measly 7% of how people receive your message. Your tone of voice, that's 38%. And the absolute giant in the room, a massive 55%, is your body language, your posture, your hands, your face. Your body is basically shouting while your words are just whispering. So in every single interaction, you're either building connection or you're demolishing it. On the left, you've got building signals, an open posture, leaning in, showing you're engaged. That signals trust. And on the right, demolition signals, crossed arms, looking away, a tense posture. That screams, "I'm not interested," no matter what nice words are coming out of your mouth. So now that we get the huge impact of our nonverbals, we can finally turn to our last tool.
It's about making that tiny but critical 7%, our words, as powerful as they can possibly be. This is verbal engineering, the art of choosing words that build bridges, not walls.
Just look at the power of a simple reframe. Instead of saying, "That's your problem," which just places blame, try, "Let's find a solution together." See, it invites collaboration. Instead of a total dead end like, "I don't know," you can be proactive and say, "You know what? I'll find that information for you." These little shifts can completely change the entire feeling of a conversation, from conflict to teamwork.
And what about having to say no? It's always tough, right? But it doesn't have to start a fight. Just use the sandwich technique. First, the top slice of bread. Start with something positive. "I really appreciate you thinking of me for this." Then, the filling, the clear, justified no. "Right now, my plate is full with the Q3 deadline." And finally, the bottom slice of bread. Offer a positive alternative. "How about we connect on this at the start of next quarter?" It's respectful, it's clear, and it keeps the relationship strong. Okay, we've covered a lot, but knowing this stuff is useless if you don't act on it. So here is your challenge. Don't try to master everything all at once. Just pick one of these skills. It could be paraphrasing in your next meeting, or just uncrossing your arms, or reframing a negative phrase. Write it down, and just for the next day, focus only on that.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Forget about next week or next year. Starting tomorrow, what is the one communication skill you are going to consciously practice and start to master? Because getting that one thing right, well, that could change everything.